Happy Saturday, Las Vegas. It's Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And I want to say first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving. I know I'm a little bit early. By the time this show airs next Saturday, you guys will already have eaten your turkey and spent, time with your family and friends. So happy Thanksgiving, you guys, from my family, the Buchanans, to your family. All right, let's go on into today's show. Listen, I had one of my family members reach out to me. She wants to move to Waco, Texas. For all of you that don't know, I was actually raised south of Waco, Texas, born in Seattle. Big difference there, right? Anyways, she said, well, Monique, she's older. She's about 62 years old. She said, I was thinking about selling my property here. What do you think? And I said, well, you know what? If I were you, I would simply rent out the property because her mortgage, remember, she was one of the ones that bought, 8 years ago. So her mortgage is actually I think $1,000. So $1,000, and she has a 3-bedroom home. It's about 1,800 square feet. So I said, what I would do if I were you, because she doesn't know if she's going to like Waco, Texas yet. She's from Vegas, but she wants to go to Waco. So I advised her that let's do this. Let's rent out this property here in Vegas, right? Vegas is booming. They just announced that the Oakland A's are going to be probably coming to Vegas. So there's just so much going on in Vegas. She's going to definitely make money on this property. So with her being older, I advise her, hey, don't sell the property. Go ahead and keep the property. Let's rent it out, Later, if you want to sell it, you can. But let's just rent it out for another reason is you don't know if you're going to like Texas. So she's going to rent this property out. She can rent it out for $2,300 a month. Okay, that's about the going rate for her property, right? She's going to go out to Waco, Texas, and she's going to rent a house out there in Waco, Texas, and that rent is only $1,300 a month for a nice house comparable to the property that she has here. Now, with that being said, $1,000 of that, because her mortgage, once again, remember her mortgage is only $1,000. So she's clearing $1,300 a month in addition from renting this property here out in Vegas. So she's basically not paying for the rental at all because her house here in Vegas is paying her rent in Texas, you guys. Now, isn't that great? Isn't that amazing? She's older. So now instead of her, kind of struggling here, she's able to go to Waco, Texas, have this property pay for her property out there where she's staying, right? Because it's a wash, because she's clearing $1,300 a month because her renters are paying her mortgage. And in addition to her mortgage, she's walking away with an extra $1,300 a month. So now she's going to live out there rent-free, right? And see how she likes it for a year. And the whole while, she's going to be making equity still on her property here. That way, she can see if she really wants to go ahead and really put roots down in Waco, Texas, or come on back home and have this house ready for her in a year when the renters are going to, when their lease is up, she can go ahead and take her house back. Or she can go ahead and sell it if that's what she wants to do and buy out in Waco, Texas. Now, today's show, I want to give you options because a lot of you, the majority of you that have purchased homes even 2-3 years ago are sitting on equity, sitting on cash that can be made liquid for you. Okay, so today I am going to talk about HELOC loans. These are loans that you can take out for a variety of reasons. And what it is you're basically taking a loan out against your home, but you can take this loan out for many reasons. Okay, a lot of people, I just want to, put the reasons out there because a lot of people think that they have to be for certain reasons, but they don't. It's your home. It's your equity that you are sitting on. If you don't know what I mean by equity, let's say that I sold you a house 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we bought that house for $300,000. Today, that house, if you've seen your neighbor selling it, is worth $450,000. That means that you have $150,000 that is accessible to you. Well, typically 80% of it, but you get the general idea. That money is accessible to you. There's different ways. One way is called a HELOC equity line of credit, a home equity line of credit, AKA we call it in the industry a HELOC. Okay, you can use it for home improvements. You can use it for debt consolidation, high interest debt. If you've got a higher interest, personal loan, or you could pay it off and put it all in your HELOC. You got educational expenses. Maybe you're almost done paying off those student loans. You can access that money, the equity in your home, to go ahead and take care of those things. You have emergency responses or expenses, investment opportunities. That's the number one right there. I'm going to stop right there. Investment opportunities is why I'm speaking about this on the show today. Don't let that money just sit and dwindle away. Okay? Put that money to work. What do I mean by this? In fact, I want to give a shout out to one of my sellers right now. We're in escrow. And she told me, Monique, I'm so thankful I heard your show about 3 years ago. And you said, put that money to work. So I'm basically saying it again. She did that. She went and bought a high rise. Remember I was talking about the high rises? I don't know if you guys have been with me too long. If you're just joining, this is Monique Buchanan with the Welcome Home with Monique show. I am your local Las Vegas realtor. You can reach me at 702-984-3700 if you're thinking of selling a property, buying a property, or investing. 702-984-3700. Anyways, you guys remember, when I was telling you guys they had condos on Flamingo and Decatur going for $80,000, and they were 2 bedrooms. And I was telling you guys the location is prime. At the time they were talking about building that stadium. Well, guess what? As soon as they went ahead and built the Raiders Stadium, you can't even find condos in that same area anymore. Let alone if you do find them, they're going for like $250. It's crazy. So I also talked about the Palms place. I let you guys know that you can legally Airbnb at the Palms place. In fact, they will manage it all for you. All right. The high rise. Why not own a Las Vegas high rise for as little as, well, now $230,000, but I was selling them, a couple years ago during the pandemic for $170,000. Now they're worth like $330,000. I think I said $230, but they're actually at $330, and that's the studio. And here's the thing, guys. They're doing the F1. One of my clients that I sold to at the Palms place, he called me and said, Monique, I just rented out my Palms place that you sold me. I rented it out each night for $5,000. That's right, because he's in a prime location. He is less than 3 miles away from the Raiders Stadium. His high rise that I sold him is facing the Las Vegas Strip. So, yes. There's so much opportunity there, and I can still sell you one of those as well, because there's still a little window still open to go ahead and grab one, and have that as an investment property, Las Vegas high rise in prime location right on Flamingo. But anyways, like I said, for more information on that, 702-984-3700. Back to my client. She said, Monique, I bought a high rise. I bought a house in Summerlin. And I bought another property, and she's having me sell the other property right now. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. She took and accessed the money that she had in her first property. She pulled that equity out through a HELOC, and she reinvested it into the market. And now she has 3 properties gaining equity and making more money that will be accessible to her. So she just was so thankful. And I just thank her for being a listener. And I thank all of you guys for listening. And, you got to do what's best for you. But I'm just here to spread the word and try to, help as many people as I can. So with that being said, you can pull out a HELOC. Now, the reason I'm telling you that it's a great time to do that right now, you guys, there is so much opportunity out there right now. Okay, yes, the rates are higher than we like. But guess what? The builders are buying down your rate. You guys heard me talk about one of my premier builders. They're buying down the rates for my clients. So if you want to go buy a brand new home, I have another builder that reached out to me 2 days ago. They're buying the rates down to 3.99. We haven't seen that low of a rate since 2017. So you can get yesterday's rate today, but you have to have the right realtor or professional to guide you to these, opportunities, and to kind of hold your hand through the whole process and tell you what's coming up next and what this looks like. Now, she listened to my show, and that's how she gained that knowledge, but I'm here. You can call me. I would love to assist you. 702-984-3700. Okay, guys, so HELOCs. You can access the equity in your home, okay? and then pull out, 20%. Let me give you an idea. Remember I said I have a builder right now that's doing 3.99% rate for your rate. And that is a 2017 rate, but we're going to get that rate for you today, 2023. I know how. All right. So let's pretend that you say, okay, Monique, I'm going to do this. I called you. I spoke with your lender, and he says that I can pull out $100,000. Well, I don't need $100,000. The property that I like, the brand new home that I know I can rent out for $2,400 a month, but my payment will be $1,600 a month because I'm going to take advantage of the builder buying down my rate, right? That I will guide you to. You just need to put $75,000 down. That's 20% of $340,000. That will make your payment on that brand new property, your investment property, $1,600 a month, right? You're able to charge $2,400 for the rent right now on that property. That means you're walking away with $800 in the positive every month. Okay? So now you're walking away with almost an extra $1,000 a month that you would not have had, and you're building equity and making more money on that brand new property you just bought and you put renters in. And by the way, you do not have to manage the property yourself. I have a lot of people reach out to me and ask me that. No, you do not have to manage it yourself. You don't have to deal with renters unless you want to. I have a property management group. They charge a small fee. If you charge $1,000 a month, they're charging you $70. That's it, 7%. That's how much they charge. Now, there's different ones you can shop around, but that's about the going rate. That way you don't have to deal with the calls in the middle of the night, or this is broke and that's broke. You don't have to deal with, finding the tenant. They will screen the tenants for you. Okay, so you can let them do what they do, and then you can walk away with a great investment at almost $1,000 every month extra, and you're going to make equity, just like you did with the house that you're in right now. All right, guys, this is Monique Buchanan if you're just tuning in, and I am talking about putting your money to work. You are now sitting on money that's just sitting there, not working, not making you any more money. Okay, if you have purchased a home even within 2 years ago, you can access those funds. I can guide you to investing because you're going to get a great deal right now. As soon as the feds lower the rates, guys, those great deals are going out the window. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to bring on the true professional, my lending guru, Mr. Anthony Valentino with Guaranteed Rate. He's going to just go over some of the, nuances when it comes to HELOC loans and just, information we should know about that. Anthony, are you there?
I am. How are you, Monique?
Welcome, Anthony. Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. I always love talking shop with you and all things real estate. So, as always, you're the source. And, just let me know what kind of questions you have, and I'll be able to take care of them for you.
Yeah, I just want to say I really appreciate Anthony. He is the wizard. Like I always say, you guys, if you don't know, this man is the lender that the other lenders go to whenever a fire pops up that they don't know how to put out. This man knows how to do it. So I appreciate, having you on the team, Anthony. You're a great resource, and you're a great resource for my listeners. You're spreading the word of tidbits that we just don't know. So I was explaining that if you have $100,000 worth of equity, I believe you told me, what was it, 80% that we can get and liquidate through a loan? Is that right?
There's some aspects where you can go up to 95%, even 100%. Obviously, the higher in loan to value, then the higher the rate. But the general is 80% loan to value. Guaranteed Rate does have a one-stop shop fixed HELOC where from start to finish it takes 5 days, no appraisal, and that goes up to 90% loan to value. So basically, every 100,000 in equity that you have, you can tap into 90,000 of it. And like you said, right now we're at the end of a debt cycle, and so now more than ever is the best time to capitalize on asset purchasing. And so you can leverage the equity that you've built over the past couple of years. And no one wants to touch their low rates right now for their first and the 2s and 3s, because those are unicorn rates, right? We're never going to see those rates again. So having a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, allows you to still tap into that equity without interfering with that first where you have the good rate for your first mortgage.
That is phenomenal. And I kind of went over, I mean, I don't know if you guys caught that, but you don't have to basically touch your rate. In other words, Anthony's saying, hey, if you have a 4.25 or a 2.99, don't worry. Anthony does not have to touch that. He can get you this HELOC without bothering that or changing that at all. And I went over a couple reasons. I mean, if you have, people think that they have to have a certain reason to be able to access that. But even if you want to access that money for a wedding, a business venture, maybe you want to open a business. But like I was saying, reinvest into this market right now is what I would personally do and what I actually am doing. Right, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, what they see is, a debt cycle last about 8 years. We've had about 13 of them since the 1940s. And right now we're on year 6 of year 8 of this latest debt cycle. And typically the first 5 years of a debt cycle, people are incurring debt, they're purchasing things, everything is great, they're using credit cards, going on vacations. And then the last 3 years of a debt cycle, that's when banks tighten up their wallets and they implore people to start paying off the debt that they've incurred. So now more than ever, when you see HELOCs and home equity lines of credit, it's up over 300% year to date, meaning a lot of people are now taking advantage of HELOCs. Like you said, if they want to consolidate debt, if they want to purchase a new asset, if they want to do investments. But the good thing is if people have debt, whether it's credit cards, car payments, or whatever it may be, they're sitting on equity that they can wipe out those high interest rates and high payments. And say they have $1,500 in monthly debt, and they take out some money that costs $300. Now they wipe away $1,500 of debt and replace it with $300. Now they just saved themselves $1,200 a month. And that allows them to do things like invest in real estate or to purchase another house. It gives them a lot more wiggle room that they didn't have if they didn't tap into that equity.
Absolutely. And that could, be so pivotal for so many people out there that are listening that are weighed down by debt. Like you said, credit card debt, student loan debt. You can access the money or the equity that your home has made over the, past 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. And, take that burden off of your shoulders. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
That's why, and like you said, it's a smart move no matter what, because you're not going to change your current rate. That's the main thing I want people to understand. That's huge. You don't have, like when you refinance your house, it changes your rate. Correct, Anthony?
Exactly. When you refinance or you do a cash out refi, you're changing out that first mortgage. Whereas when you do a HELOC or a home equity line of credit, it's a second position. So it's behind the first. It's completely separate, and it just gives you the flexibility. And that's what it's all about, is being able to tap into that equity that's just sitting there doing nothing. And what better than to have an amortization of a 30-year with a single-digit rate that you can pay off double-digit interest with lower amortization or only 5 or 7 year terms. So you're not only consolidating debt, but you're lowering that monthly all-encompassing debt, which just gives you more flexibility during these times where, pocketbooks get a little tighter.
Right. So if you have like a 12% interest rate on a credit card, you can just use your HELOC to take care of that. Now the interest is much less. You're saving that money monthly, putting that back into your pocket. Now explain this to everybody. Like I like to say, Anthony, explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. The HELOC, is that a loan, or is that kind of like a credit card where you can go back and get money, or do you pay it off? And I guess my last question is this. Can you pay it off early, or how does it work exactly?
Yeah, so basically you have a draw period of so say they tell you can get up to 100,000. You can use all that 100,000, but then say over the next 12, 24 months you pay half of it back, and now it goes to 50,000. You have a draw period. Sometimes it's 5 years, sometimes it's 10 or 15 years, where you can continue to access that money. Typically, it's minimum 5 years. So if you have a $100,000 equity line of credit, you pay down 50,000. You still have that other 50,000 available to you for 5 years, let's say. And then after that draw period ends, then they close it to where you can no longer draw from it, and then you just pay it off, and they amortize it between 20 to 30 years. So yeah, I mean, it's like a line of credit that is never ending, depending on what the draw terms are.
Really, I could get more than 100,000 out because if I keep going back to it, so it's almost like a credit card in the sense that you can use it and reuse it. Is that right?
That's right. You can use it, reuse it.
Right.
That's right. No prepayment penalty. And it's really just about math because, math never lies. And it's like, how much debt do you have? What are those payments? And then what are you replacing it with? What interest and what debt and what payments? And 99.9% of the time, you're going to be able to consolidate those lower term, higher interest, trade lines for a small 30-year fixed one and done, HELOC.
Well, you just got me excited. So let's picture this. Let's picture, let's say Shelly. Shelly hears this show. She calls me up. I get her with you. She gets a HELOC, right, for $100,000 from the equity in her home. Now, she calls me back. I take her out to get that property. I go purchase a property with her, her first investment. She uses $75,000 with you to put 20% down. She has 5 years to draw. Now, she's able to take the equity out in 2 years from the property that we bought, right, from her investment. She pays off the $75,000 that she put down. She can then turn around and take another $75,000 and get another property and continue to build that. Is that right? I mean, if she pays it off, or that's phenomenal.
That's exactly right. Yep, and you have to also think too, the interest that is accumulating on there, that renter's paying it while you're gaining equity every year, while you're having the tax incentives, while that renter is paying down that mortgage. All of that is economic utility for the homeowner. And so it's not about just, picking up a property. It's being able to leverage that property to see passive income. So you're having your equity work for you, not you work for your equity. And that's the big caveat there, is letting that equity actually work for you, not just sit there doing nothing.
Yeah, that's great. I've just gotten, that's awesome. So I didn't realize that you could go back and grab more money if you need it. You know what I mean? So just to try to make it, I'm going to try to make this kind of simple. $75,000 is what my client's going to put down on the house. We've gotten her, like you said, $100,000 equity line of credit. Now, $75,000 she puts down. Her mortgage, and this is with us getting her rate bought down, it would be $1,600. Let's just, for easy math, $1,600 a month. She has a renter pay her $2,400 a month for the property. She's walking away in the positive with $800 a month. That would almost cover the HELOC loan payment, right? Of the $75,000.
You're looking at around $900 a month. So it basically covers it to where you're able to capitalize, gain an asset that's making you, equity that someone else is paying down the principal, and you have those tax incentives. So when you look at that and put it in a percentage form, you're 7-8% return on that investment, which you can't even get that with the most volatile stock market.
Wow. And for me, I'll say it like this. You just got a whole house for $100 a month.
Physical asset. It's not digital. It's not based off of currency or stocks or with inflation. It's recession proof. It's a physical asset. It's real estate.
It's real estate, and it's also something you can pass down to your children. So I don't know. I hope I didn't, confuse anybody. But if you're just tuning in, this is Monique Buchanan, and I'm the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. We've got Mr. Anthony Valentino, and he's giving you the breakdown of why it is so important to understand how HELOC loans work, how they do not touch your equity that you earn, your rate that you're currently in. I'm just so excited that I'm stuttering at this point. Because I did not realize that you could access and reaccess. So if you pull $50,000 out of your $100,000 HELOC, you still have $50,000 available to you if you need it at another point. You can pay back the $50,000. So you have 5 years typically to go back and forth with using this money. And if you invest this money, like we were just talking about, you can walk away with a property that's going to gain more equity, that you have the renter paying off for you, and you're going to score a great deal right now because for the first time in 8 years, the sellers are paying down people's rates. The sellers are paying closing costs. We are in an extremely hot market. We have been for how many years now, Anthony?
Yeah, it's been almost 5.
Yeah, many years. Hot for the sellers, okay? So, I don't know. It's just, I see the great deals that we've been getting, Anthony. Our clients have been closing with not 8% rates, with not 7% rates, but Anthony has been buying their rates down and getting them into 5% rates and 6% rates, right, Anthony?
Yeah, even 4. We even have clients in the mid 4s.
Yeah, and we're not talking about 2017, guys. We're talking about last month, this month, okay? So please understand that the deals are to be had right now in this market. What do you say all the time, Anthony? What if they wait until the rates drop?
Oh, if they're waiting for the rates to drop, they're waiting for a longer line to jump in to try to get their offer accepted.
If they get their offer accepted, you guys always hear me talk about I had many stories, but the one that I talk about mostly is the gentleman that we put in offer after offer, $20,000 over the list price. When the rates were in the 3s and 4s, he never got a home. And that's the writing on the wall, guys, because we still have a high demand for Las Vegas properties, and we are in a shortage of Las Vegas properties. Right, Anthony?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no one's wanting to sell their house that they have a 2% rate, and they rather just rent it out or leverage it. And so it's just creating even more of a shortage. And there's no end in sight, especially when you have, the Major League Baseball, the A's are coming. They just confirmed it. They got the 8 yeses yesterday. Obviously we have the Golden Knights, we got the Raiders, we have potentially the Boston Celtics making it the Vegas Celtics in 2026. It's just,
I'm excited. That's my team.
Yeah.
Right on. So here's the thing, guys. Vegas is not slowing down. It's not slowing down. So therefore, the prices will not either. You know what I mean? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Anthony, thank you for coming on and just letting us know how important it is to take advantage of your HELOC opportunity in your property. And if they want more information, they can call 702-984-3700. I will get you with Mr. Valentino, and he will walk you through this, you guys. We will hold your hand if you are ready to take the equity out of your property and invest. Start making it make more money for you. Is that right, Anthony?
That's right. Yep. That's real estate is the number one way for your asset to make money for you, not you make money for the asset. And it starts with real estate.
Right. If you don't make money while you're sleeping, you'll work for the rest of your life. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Anthony. We appreciate you like always. Look forward to having you on again.
Thanks, Monique.
All right, guys. Have an amazing Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe. And until I hear from you,